more, but he's actually still there.
Yeah, because he was over on that side before.
It's Spin.
Yeah.
My mind wonders.
Well, now that Ruff has got his art, it's like, wait, who was on there before? That's right, it was Fed. So we'll see if that makes any difference here for WGS. O2, though, they do go on the Zen here in the defense. They don't hedge their bets on the Ana, although perhaps they might have wished they did, as Flora is going to be coming in here on the Sombra.
Also early deny there as you see this rotation happening for WGS. Been rotating, and I feel an interesting play to get Ruff in, because I feel like Spin hasn't been having necessarily a bad series by any means, as you see the boop out.
And do looking for the early boop here, putting WGS under more pressure. For now, they're reasonably withstanding it, but they've also fed Villainy quite a bit. Villainy at 60% for now, living the Winston dream.
And this is the rush for when you're playing Winston v the Reinhardt mirror and the 3-3, is that you're just trying to build Primal fast enough for this first fight.
And he's committing to a degree there. He used the leap to move in. He's not going to be able to use it to leap on out. Villainy under heavy, heavy pressure, but while they're looking at Villainy, they're not looking at Kronk. Finds Ruff in the interplay there. Now 6-on-5 for O2, and they can slow play this a little bit more, get Primal up for the next fight.
They will have Primal up, but Flora has EMP already. Flora does have that EMP, so we're not really seeing the interaction now of Nano Reinhardt versus EMP. We're rather seeing, will Villainy be able to get Primal value?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key here is that Villainy has to anticipate when the EMP is about to be used, use Primal, and disrupt just to buy time while the EMP is in effect. But instead, they're going to be caught by Grab first. EMP comes out in response, but they're all stuck in Grab. That works out actually pretty well for O2 Blast. But they lose Villainy. He can't Primal in time.
They'd be able to catch Villainy because also they were able to get the trance out of Mion. They're still chasing on to point. You see Flora doing a lot of pressure here onto Krong. The rally's out for Pelican, but Mion, he's down. He's caught by the Fire Strike.
Yeah, now Mion is down. This is actually getting pretty rough for O2 Blast, despite, no pun intended. I can't say the word rough anymore, actually.
No, you can't.
Like, he has eliminated my ability to say rough.
He has eliminated rough.
Can't use it.
Say rocky. Say difficult.
You know, we just got to break out the thesaurus here. Find other terms to describe something that, you know, have to face a little bit of adversity. Mion, though, not swapping to the Ana, even with the Sombra in play.
And Flora is building this next EMP extremely quickly as well. Already 83% to that. Mion not even very close to the Transcendence at all. It's going to be very much on Mundu there to get the beat.
EMP's up already. Alive. Flora is good to go, and I'm not sure O2 Blast is really ready for this, and one way or another, he's going to be heading on in. Graviton going to be invested pretty early here. Beat is out, and that's what Flora was waiting for. Use the EMP to strip the beat proper out of there immediately, as WGS now can take a little bit slower, rolling onto the point, getting pickoffs one by one, and I don't think Villainy is going to be a stall for a whole lot of time here. And in fact, O2, they're just going to bend back and hope they can get back right in the nick of time. They have to use Transcendence early.
Using Transcendence very early. They're going to be looking for the grab, looking for the bomb after, because Kronk does still have bomb. There's the bomb, it's coming in.
Bomb is on the way in, and Vulture down. So O2 might be able to fight this back. It was good patience to disengage. They don't lose their minds in it. They use Time Bank as a currency, and as a result, O2 Blast is going to be able to defend.
They'd have to give a lot of ticks, though, and there's a lot of time left in the bank for WGS, and Flora is also almost 80% to another EMP.
Flora's been rolling on the EMPs
Been looking great so far on this map in terms of getting EMP extremely quickly. Rough close to also to another Grav. So O2, you know, they made this swap Mion back onto the Ana. We've seen this a lot. And we'll have to see them get a lot of value and split here from the EMP because they really do not have any resources besides this rally to survive that fight, and Ruff will be looking for the grab post-fight anyways, or even as an entry.
So, Mion hanging back right now. O2 Blast saying, all right, WGS, why don't you bring the fight to us? Flora, though, EMP is up. And now it's going to be up to O2 Blast to see how they handle it. They don't have a Nano ready. The EMP's just going to head on in, proper, removed immediately after. No, they don't stand the point.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate statement.
That is an accurate statement.
That is, you know, it's a little low-key, but it's not wrong.
It definitely a good engage. Really, I think when we're looking at this offense here, for, you know, aside from the obvious, that's bad. WGS's offense and their effectiveness in terms of getting the ult out, the EMP, and comboing it is so effective. We've seen that replay right there, you know, where Ruff drops the grab, forces the beat from Mondu, and then they have the EMP to strip the beat. And then once again, comboing that grab and the EMP to get maximum value. And they've been doing a great job there.
I mean, the other thing that also worked out to it as well is that okay, yeah, there's no Ana to worry about for most of that, but Flora was also just building EMP very, very rapidly. I mean, it was almost on a pace of 1 EMP per fight, which is insane. I mean, it's maximum value on the Sombra. It's sort of the dream that you're looking for when you play that type of composition. Now it's going to be WGS, of course, that are heading out here on the defense. And again, if I'm O2 and looking at this, I just put Myeon up on the Ana. It's been their best response to it over and over again so far over the course of the series. And for WGS, I just don't feel like, even if they come out in the Diva, that it's been particularly effective versus it. So O2 decides to run.
We'll have to see, because remember, don't trust the spawns. Don't trust the spawn
I don't see this being the comp at all.
If anything, Myeon would be on the Sombra just to scout and then run back and swap, because they want to change. The flex support is going to be the role that changes.
Yep, that's what they did.
And so Myeon going back,
and the Ana's coming in
directly to the Ana.
I mean, I admire their tenacity for scouting and making sure everything's done properly. Although at the same point, I feel like WGS has been pretty predictable here.
You probably do know, as you see, WGS are holding here on the high ground. Flora is going to be looking for that poke as the rest of WGS potentially look for the engage. Try to get that spam out as O2 move towards the point.
O2 can casually go forward, and already Flora is down. Talk about taking down your opposite number. At least the one you're trying to counter. Myeon able to take down Sombra. And
hitting a giant nade to that. All three of the backline for WGS are anti. They're running away. They're trying to get out. They will be able to escape. But look at the pace O2 is going to set here for this offense. They're going to cap first, and they're already going to be so far ahead in terms of overall ulti game.
Not only is it super quick, but you take a look at Villain here. It's over 7 minutes. They also have a Shatter ready.
Shatter ready. The Nano is getting there, and also Flora has made the swap on the Diva off the Sombra. So we're going to have to see this interplay here once again between Myeon and Flora. And if they can eat the nades, I should say. Well,
for now, they should just be looking for pure shield pressure. It is what they're looking for. Villain's shield, though, takes a lot more damage in the interim, so OT Blast has to cool it down just a little bit.
Right now, Vulture is slept, but I doubt they'll be able to make much out of it. Because remember, when we're looking at the shield war here, it favors WGS with Darrow on this end.
Villainy under pressure. Now the Nail's going to go over to him, and you know, it's a wild card. You have to assume he has Shadow right now. You still have to back out. They're going to be getting a tick here for free. In all likelihood, tick is theirs. Nano Boost is going to be down. Villainy still holding on the Shatter. Under pressure now, stuck in the corner. Drops the Shatter, and doesn't knock down anyone there. Blocked off by the Zarya shield on the other side. Now the Graviton in for OG
But the
Blast.
anti!
Yeah, and it still works out with the anti.
The anti's so strong. Vulture popping that late rally, but he's going to be cleaned up very soon. WGS, Chorong, he's building up to that beat, but he's going to have to wait. He's going to have to give up another tick before he comes back in. You see the bomb looking for the zone. There's the beat, catching Flora, allowing them to stay in. Spirit is back as well. Ruff, really the hope here for WGS is that Ruff can get any sort of grab, but it seems very unlikely.
Well, he's going to have to build the last bit of percent here early and do so before more members fall. Flora about to get DMAC. Graviton coming in. Last moment effort here for WGS, and they use it to take down Villainy. Respawn's starting to come back in. They might be able to fight this back. They need to get at least one more, though. Proper, all charged up, ready to go. Drops the Nano. And that's going to be very much a completion that O2 Blast was looking for here, and end up saying a pretty quick time.
And once again, we see this interplay between O2 Blast's Ana when they make the swap, and also Villainy still being a very consistent Rhine. They obviously didn't get much off the Shatter there. So far, O2, they have the answer to Flora. They really just have the answer to WGS and how they want to play. Because they're continuing to get antis. It's really the crux for O2 Blast is that Myeon is getting antis. Antis that simply should not be happening.
Yonzana has been very, very good regardless of the circumstance. And realistically speaking, WGS hasn't had a fantastic answer for it. It's been very good, not just on the standard hero plays that you look for Ana in terms of sleeps, good nanos, or otherwise, but also just letting Villainy be more aggressive than normal, still keeping him well healed. And it's also meant that O2 Blast has been winning in the health war between the two teams. I mean, look, it doesn't really take a very thorough look at the map to realize that Ana is going to let you win the poke war more effectively than a Zen does, so long as that there's no one just getting absolutely murdered by Discord or Focus Fire.
As long as you're not losing anyone to that Focus Fire or losing that, or just letting yourself continue to lose the Shield War, then the Poke War will definitely favor the Ana because your health will be overall better. You'll be building that Nano. So now WGS going to be back onto the offense here. Flora on the Sombra once again. They have to know as well also, Mion going to be rolling out on the Ana for this defense, for this first defense, rather than the Zen.
It is a shift. Yeah, I mean, it's a big shift from what they had a moment ago, right? Or the round ago where they were running out the Zen. I was expecting them to do this from the beginning because, again, WGS has been predictable.
Oh my goodness, the spam coming out, almost taking out Mion very early. Gets the armor pack. See WGS are now on the high ground, looking to move out. Nade doesn't catch anyone. Both teams are sort of in a poke scenario right now.
Both going back and forth right now. O2 Blast not really in any big hurry. WGS on the same note, I mean, they don't have a whole lot of power up until EMP comes out here, so I'd expect O2 Blast to try and turn the tables. That's what they're going to do here. They display Spear. They're looking for him, but they're losing in the poke war here, just off the virtue of not landing enough shots. So O2 Blast, they have to slow it down a bit. Floor now at 60%. WGS getting very close to what they need.
But look at the nano. He'll have it very, very soon. 90% already. 92.
Villain's counting on it.
Villainy, and he won't.
Villainy went in expecting the nano to be up in time. It wasn't. WGS working with a man advantage here. This could be so good if they could save the EMP, but they lose Vulture. They lose Rough on the other side, and now they feel compelled to use the EMP.
A little late as well. Yeah. Very late, because also the bait comes out for Mandu.
Well, they get proper. They're keeping the pressure up, but they lose Flora. Flora's not going to be able to build towards EMP the way that he usually does, and Young gets 2.
And gets the sleep here. You see the sleep onto Spear. He's stuck in. Gets 3. He's going to get the anti here. Oh, it's very good. Very, very good play from Young. And just, I think, a questionable EMP for Flora, who's now making the swap, because doesn't catch Mandu, doesn't deny the beat. They're already down players. I think that was a little bit rushed for WGS.
Well, I think WGS, again, they wanted to save it, which is why it wasn't used earlier. They got the pick on the Villainy because the timing between Nano and Villainy there was just a little bit off, but they weren't able to solidify. They end up losing players on the other side, and as a result, they panic. I think it was pure panic. What a sleep.
Can he clean up on Darrow? And instead, he's not even going to commit to that frag. He's going to back up because, I mean, WGS will be able to clean him up. He's going to rotate. The sleep just getting a little bit of deny right now. And O2, they have their combo here, ZP, so they're going to be looking for that because there is no trance currently up for Darrow.
There's no nano up here. WGS instead going to try and take the initiative. I mean, they go for the grab, but they don't have the follow through for it immediately. They still find proper somehow as it's all going on. O2 now going to be dropping nano on the Villainy. Villainy already pretty low. Drops a shatter. Knocks down 1 in the back, but not in any position to really follow through. And O2 Blast now starting to get bullied away. Kwong was in the back the entire time, but has been super impactful. Now just potentially about to lose D.Va versus D.Va on the other end. Beyond though, able to get Darrow as O2 Blast looking for some form of path back into this team fight.
Yeah, but there's no ults currently up for O2. They don't have any strong damage dealers that are alive. I mean, Proper's on this fight. It's going to be rotating.
And WGS is kind of just overpowering here. I mean, they're not running the Sombra anymore, they're running the D.Va, and they got early pickoffs. Number advantage is very hard to turn back, even if you have more ults at the very beginning.
So now WGS getting the first cap. Definitely off of that poke, off of that grab from Ruff as well. Just able to get that frag, get that early opening frag onto Villainy. So WGS moving into last, they have double support out there, have their combo up. And something to note is that O2 does not have really any ults. They're going to be coming up on their double support ult on Kwong on Grav's bomb, but that's not a lot.
Early sleep on the Vulture here delays WGS a little bit. They're mid-rally all the while, so WGS are not really wanting to wait here. They know they have a bit of an advantage. Graviton in reserve here from Ruff. Gonna drop it. Now here comes Flora, looking for the bomb, the combo on top, but there's a bomb on the other side here from Kwong, but Flores gets way more. They're set up by the Grav, it gets 2. And WGS now with the man advantage, looking to add the 4th point to their total. And O2 Blast running out of options to delay. They're gonna have to do it. Down numbers, trying to roll back in, but WGS in a much better spot. Shadow comes in from Spear, not gonna hit anything. And O2 Blast actually doing an okay job of delaying. The problem is they still have to isolate at least one person here. Graviton comes in, but it's going to be answered immediately by the Transcendence. But they still get Vulture because of the bio. The bio sets it all up.
Oh, that bio is so crucial right now. Villainy just holding his shield in front of Darrow, in front of Ruff, denying the damage. And Mion just has been a hero, getting another nano off in that fight. Mion.
And the bio nades.
And the nades are incredible. Also, it really just comes down to the nades. The nades have been so good. It was set up as well from that grab from Proper. But Myeon has been a hero for O2.
Been very, very good from Myeon, where you want to talk about a performance here where even if O2 Blast were to lose, something that you can very comfortably put on your own personal highlight reel. You know, someone asks, hey, is this person pretty good? It's like, well, I have a series to show you. Be this one, right here.
Sort of styling on his old team. So I'm sure WGS can't be happy. He can't be too happy about that.
I mean, the only thing saving grace here, where it's still a very tough position to be in, and you look at how the first round went, and look at how the second round is likely to go. It is still winnable on point B. They got 87% progress. It's not like their best case scenario here is a draw. But holding against a team with 5:25 left in Volskaya, in the past, I'd say, yeah, it's possible. Here, it's not quite as likely. They're definitely going to have to play near flawless Overwatch. Meanwhile, for O2, I just think they're going to keep doing what they're doing and, you know, run out with Myeon on the Ana.
You see, he's on the Sombra here again, going to roll out, get that scout, and then probably just roll back.
Oh, well, okay, they go for the scout. And by the way, WGS a little bit far out there. Floor just adding, Floor adding some damage.
As O2 going to stack up here, Myeon's make the swap to Ana. They're going to rotate in. Probably going to look like they're taking this approach near the Mega Pack side, then moving directly to point. Because there's too much that WGS can do to displace him off floor is on that Sombra.
O2 looking for positioning here. Beyond just in the back. Actually pretty well protected here. Flora desperately trying to build up towards EMP. It's still going to be a while. Vulture under heavy pressure. And you see the shift in focus as they try to fish it off. They're not quite able to do that. Both teams still training up poke. Flora at 84%. Is actually turning very good for WGS right now, but a Nano might be up in the nick of time.
A Nano is up and Spear was anti, so they had to back out. So now WGS, they have the EMP, will be denied by the Nano though.
And the Nano boost came out. The Nano boost is on Villainy here. He's still in a fight and he goes down and all that, but still acts as a bit of a sponge. But I think if WGS gonna fight this back, it's very close.
It's very close. Spear is low, but with Darrow still alive and Darrow still controlling this high ground, I think he's going to be connected with his team now. This is still a stalemate for both sides. There isn't a clear win condition just yet. We see the rally out. Ruff solo gets cleaned up actually by Mandu and Myung combining.
O2 able to turn the fight back over in their favor. Now, point A is going to be theirs. They have 4 minutes left to go from A to B. And you have to like O2 Blast's chances here, where, again, you know, they have to mostly full cap point B, but they have plenty of time for it.
Just overall winning the late game, winning the post-ult fight, the post-EP fight, based off the sustain from Myeon.
And they can use Nano as soon as it's up here. Flora's swapped off the Sombra. It doesn't have to be an ult for an ult. They just drop it on Villainy, look for point advantage, look for the early tick, and that's what happened last round.
WGS is coming up, though, on that triple support ult. I mean, the rally's out already for Vulture. Chorong is close to the beat. Darrow still is holding on to the trance. So there's plenty of resources available for WGS to win this fight.
Nano boost is up. I'd expect to go Villainy here. Villainy going forward. We're going to have the Graviton invested. Pelican, though, down early in the fight. WGS getting slightly better engage. Sleep, though, on the Spear. And the Bio Spear in very heavy danger here. They can finish it off, and they do. Graviton, though, in from WGS. Ruff setting it up. O2 Blast. Able to shrug a lot of it off, but not before losing proper, so things are getting messy, and that always favors the defense.
It does, and you see Mandu just being tanked out. And that was Ruff's grab. Ruff's grab and also the beat from Chorong, allowing them to sustain the fight, allowing them to put them in a situation to clean up. And it's one of the disadvantages of the Ana, is that you are just much less survivable in the grab fight, unless you're able to hit the ante and have the great amp or have the great heals, because Transcendence is just so good. It's such a universally good ult. It keeps you alive and keeps your team alive. So WGS able to hold on there, but they do have to invest a lot of ults.
O2 Blast, meanwhile, heading back in. They have lost a good portion of their time, now down to about 2.5 minutes. WGS holding on back. You see me on right now? Again, just trying to keep O2 Blast ahead in the HP war between the two teams. Now they're going to go for Nano Boost. Villainy moving forward, trying to get Spear in a bad spot. Spear very low right now as Villainy goes in, but Villainy takes too much damage. Nano or no, you can burst through it, and WGS does.
That was a great defensive bomb from Flora. And also the right play from the rest of WGS to split. You see Villanio got split in the back while nanoed. The bomb was out. And I think Flora needs to be looking to do that more. They need to worry less about the combo play here for WGS and more about using bombs defensively, especially to ward off the aggression that Mion, when he puts the nano onto Villainy. Because they're going to clean up the grab anyways. There's no Transcendence. Well, actually, as I say that, Mion makes the swap. So they could have been doing that before. Now worry about the combo.
Now I do wonder if we're going to see Flora go off to Sombra here after this fight where, I mean, it'll be a hard call, right? Because do you go to try and build an EMP or do you stay halfway to a self-destruct at minimum, which is where he's going to be at? We'll see. O2 taking a longer approach here.
It's definitely a longer approach, but it's not unfavorable still for WGS because they can take this time to continue to build a beat, build up their shatter. They are going to be looking for the grab because they should know that O2 does not quite have those support ults.
Well, Ruff sets up with the grab, and they just use the grab to focus fire on the Villainy. They take him down early. And the rest of O2, they don't want to have part of this. They go for the quick reset. They know that time is very quickly going to be their enemy as they're into the final minute.
So now something to note with O2 is that they have grab and they have shatter. But they need the Transcendence, and they would love to have bomb. But it's unlikely they'll get it in time for this next fight. This next fight will be last fight. So it's Proper's grab is the hinge here for O2. They need to remove the support ults. They're unlikely they can catch anyone unless it's able to split from the trance or set up Villainy's charge. So Proper's grab here for O2 is going to be extremely important.
We're going to take the longer approach again, and why not? This is going to be the final fight, one way or another. WGS looking to hold on and take full sky here. O2 Blast. Of course, what fight on here? Spear, he's going for it. The Madman, he's going for the flanking shatter, but he's caught. They saw it moving over. And O2 Blast able to take the initiative. They move in, but they still get hit by the shatter. But the shatter goes both ways. WGS 4 on the ground. And the dueling shatters between both sides. O2 Blast, Graviton, gonna be moving in. The bomb up over the top. The beat was in just in time. WGS still feeling well protected, but they've used every support ult now. O2 Blast, look at Villainy in the corner. Can't get out, can't drop the shatter. Both teams down a Rhine. But now you look towards Proper. He's charged up. He's ready to go. Krong getting the fall through. O2 Blast might be able to get progress here yet as they've thrown WGS back into spot.
This should actually be it unless Spear has an incredible delay. Proper, he's so high energy. Villainy, he'll be coming back with another shatter. Mion is building up towards that Transcendence. And Proper is still extremely high energy too.
Hun at the Myeon at the very end.
And that is it.
Pick up 2 and then 3.
It was so equal there in the engage. The bombs traded, the beats traded, keeping everyone up. And at the end, the crux of the issue, despite these ults being traded, but beside what we saw those shatters, was Ruff going down.
Yeah.
Ruff going down, losing that energy, losing that time that he was so close to the Graviton, meant that Proper could stay alive. He was uncontested, his energy was still up, and he was building that grab the entire time. It was Ruff dying post-fight, which was the most important frag there as you see Proper cleans him up.
Also, you talk about progress in the middle of the fight there as well. Just Proper got charged up early, was throwing in a whole lot of damage. And also, I do wonder about the setup there where, I mean, in the end, it was a shatter trade for shatter trade, but I kind of wonder if Villainy even gets a chance to drop a shatter that was as big as it was to buy time if Spear isn't trying to just go for the craziest flank shatter of all time at the end.
I mean, when we talk about it, I said that was the most important pick, was Ruff dying.
Yeah.
But arguably that can all be traced back to the fact that Spear goes for the Reddit shattering.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him necessarily because they're looking for their opening, but allowing Villainy to get that shatter and get the trance out so early from Darrow. Imagine a different world where Proper grabs, they set up bomb, you can beat, then have a later trance rather than, you know, there's a world there where you can definitely have more value, and even Spear's shatter could have gotten more value than what it did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Spear had to go out of his way to try and be a hero there, but on the same note, if it worked, we'd be singing his praises. So hindsight sometimes is 20/20. But you know what? We still have ourselves a series. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, map 4 heading right at you. So the series has been so intense that one has to think that there was an internet connection or a PC that exploded somewhere, because we've been dealing with a few technical issues here as the players get ready. But you have to think it's going to be soon.
Well, imagine it must be very soon there. It has to be pretty intense since we had to throw to an extra break on top of the break that we weren't planning necessarily. So it is definitely just waiting on them to fix the issues on their end to get back in here. And so far, I think as we reflect on the match, when I look at this matchup, I really... the hero so far, I talk about it, you know, initially I said, oh, Proper, he's been like a relatively consistent player for them. He's been put on this Zarya role, and he has. But Mion,
yeah,
this looks really, really good on the Ana, and has countered everything that, you know, especially Flora with these swaps on the Sombra has thrown at them.
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about flex supports, but it's also for good reason. It's one type of hero that can really dominate the course of the game. And now, guys, the break, of course, you know, I think it was even longer than what we might have needed, because we are going to be getting into Gibraltar here real soon. I think whatever tech issue was going on has now been fixed. And we'll see just here if we will end up going to map 5 or if O2 can finish it out in a clean 3-1.
And O2 have been looking, I mean, improved as the series went on. They've looked stronger on their comp in particular. It seems like WGS just doesn't know how to respond to Myeon now. I mean, that's really what I look at.
And more than that is that when they're running Myeon on Ana, they've figured out pretty much anything that WGS is going to do, where the constant setups that we see between the two teams, it's a setup where O2 is getting the better of them consistently, fight after fight.
So we're just going to move in here to Gibraltar. And, you know, Gibraltar, another thing to look out is that Ana is very good on Gibraltar. The site, especially first, the sight lines are strong. You have a lot of verticality to abuse, to set up for nades and sleeps. So I would not be surprised to see even more Ana continue to come out.
Well, just when you think we're about to go in game,
we're not.
We get brought right back in.
We're here. We're here to us.
Yeah.
As we shuffle around, because it's a little cold in here. Because in case you guys aren't aware, CP apparently keeps the apartment at sub-zero temperatures with his AC, and I have no concept as to why, but...
Well, I mean, the reason is that there's parts of this apartment that you haven't explored, and I'm actually keeping penguins in here, illegally.
Oh, I thought you were going to go a much different direction, like you know, I thought it was going to be, going to go a much different direction. It's like, we have to keep the temperature low, so, and I was like, oh, this is very sinister. It's Dester X from ZP, but...
it's just penguins!
Just penguins.
I honestly, my mind is actually completely operating on a G level here today. I did not even think about where you could bring that, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah, you were just like, you sounded at first, you're like, you don't want to know what I'm hiding in here. I was like, wow.
I mean, penguins can be
ominous. Evil. I don't think penguins can be that evil, but we are still waiting for the technical issues to be cleared up. And I mean, because I have no idea what it is.
Yeah,
really. It has to be like a PC exploded, honestly, because it can't just be a substitution at this point. Someone has to have a problem.
Something has happened. Internet has gone out at a team house. A player is just irrevocably stuck on the toilet. I don't know. We don't know. This is not the type of... we do not know the specific reason as to what has gone on here, but we can speculate.
We can speculate, but we won't need to, because it looks like we're in the game. We're here. We're in game.
You know, for me, I'm actually going to go with, it was the Harry Hook. It was play Harry Hook. Player was on the toilet. Player had to be retrieved.
You see WGS have also made another sub here. It's going to be Heurix. Going to be in. Obviously over Dyro. Been in for most of the series. And also, we spoke about him earlier, Kaiser. He's in for
the
villainy.
Man himself.
He's here, the Eye of the Kaiser.
The Emperor has entered the arena here in Gibraltar as O2 looks to finish it out. It's been a lot of villainy, not a lot of Kaiser, but there he is.
He's in now as WGS are going to be on this first offense here. Ruff obviously still in as well. Looking to set up. Chorong swapping onto that Lucio, Flora onto the D.Va. And they saw that Myeon's on the Ana again. As I predicted here, I predicted that Myeon would probably still be on that Ana.
What a bold prediction.
I know, and they're swap off to the D.Va there to counter the value that Myeon would get on the Ana.
Meanwhile, Chorong saying, would you guys like to peek on out? I'd love to treat you to the ground.
Look at Kaiser's Earth Shatter percentage right now. He's been hitting some incredibly good fire strikes.
I mean, Category 5 Hurricane heading right at you, courtesy of Kaiser. 78%. I mean, is it Hurricane be something more on the lines of an earthquake, really?
Look at this positioning between both teams as well. This entire time, Flora's been pushing the cart And O2, neither O2 or what WGS wanted to rotate off the high ground. They were playing the game of chicken. Who rotates first to stop cart? And WGS is going to, you know, blink.
The interesting thing about Kaiser is that this is built almost entirely off of fire strikes here because Floor wasn't there to eat the fire strike. So, you know, if Diva's not eating fire strikes, you can build up Shatter pretty quickly.
Very true, and I think O2 have to know this. You see, Kaiser dropping that early Shatter. Can they clean it up?
Well, there's certainly two in the ground right away. It's force healing, but Hicks on the other side builds up a super quick Transcendence. Kind of ruins Kaiser's day. You know, look at Myun. Gonna have a nano boost up here soon. It's gonna be going to Kaiser. He's low HP, needs the heal, and there it is. Gets nano on the Kaiser, and he gets a walk forward, and WGS just says, all right, we're gonna be heading back in the server room, post haste.
And that's gonna be a cleanup onto Spear as well. He gets isolated, the boop's coming out. It's cleaned up, and WGS are stuck here in the server room. They're pressuring Kaiser's shield. They can't really move without Spear. But they also can't touch cart, so time's just ticking down.
Time at 2 minutes right now. WGS, of course, going to be waiting for Spear. They can't really do a whole lot until he heads back in. And you kind of see his silhouette there in the back. He's going to be rejoining soon, but time has been bought heavily for O2.
Yeah, Choron going to bring him back. WGS have built up also their own Hicks already, almost having another Transcendence here.
All support ults online for WGS. They open with the rally. And look at the shield pressure on the Kaiser. Kaiser about to fall. Graviton invested by O2. They buy a little bit of time. They go for the combo play. They don't quite connect. WGS still totally healthy. They still have a barrier in reserve. Proper down. But Yun will find Vulture 5-on-5. And Choron feels necessary to drop the beat. But guess what? Here comes Kaiser. Earth Shatter once more. Nano boost up. Keeping him very healthy in the situation. Letting him lay in the damage. And somehow, some way, O2 takes the fight.
That nano boost was so important there from Myun. He just keeps Kaiser alive. It was so low. His shield health was so low. That should have been the frag for WGS, but the nano comes out. And they hold the point.
Well, there's a minute left here. This could be a real quick Gibraltar.
Could be an extremely quick Gibraltar, especially considering that there was a lot of ults invested for WGS. Only
every
Spear coming up. Yeah,
every
and also the grab. The grab invested, the bomb invested. It's really just Spear coming up on anything soon. But while this is happening, when the poke comes out, it's still going to be favored Myun because he's just building up towards another nano, and Krong very close to the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, Spear's going to have to look Emperor Kaiser in the eye and hope that he blinks. That's actually what he's looking for here, or at the very least hope that someone assassinates him with the shield bash in the back.
There's a sleep on the floor. There's nothing to eat. The nade. The nade's out.
Self-destruct in. And the self-destruct. Getting Lucio off at his Spear. Tries to drop the shatter to bring it back, but
questionable shatters.
Yeah, I don't really know why. You've already lost two. You take one glance at everyone's health, and it's not looking good. Now WGS down to final 16 seconds. I'm not even sure Spear will be back here in time. Maybe that's why he let it fly.
Spear have to. I mean, realistically, now Spear's gonna have to touch for that contest the last second, and they're getting the stagger onto Flora. Hicks will have Transcendence. Vulture coming up on the rally. I mean, there's a bunch of ults coming up for WGS, but Spear. He's going to be the one to touch.
Yeah, he had to give up his life. He had to do the emergency hamster sacrifice. And I got to tell you, it's not going to be enough. O2 Blast. He's going to be holding this off here. And Graviton just making it extra likely to be the case. WGS thrown off the payload. And that was decisive.
And we're looking at a very quick Gibraltar.
One way or another.
One way or another.
Yeah, like even if O2 has an even better hold, or sorry, even if WGS has an even better hold, it's still over quickly.
WGS just could not. I mean, really, when we look at it, a lot of it stems from their initial pushes where they get caught in server, and they're just sitting in server for almost like a minute and a half of their first push, just stuck there, not getting any cart progress, not getting any time, not getting frags. They just wait so long to rotate Spear back in, and then they take the next fight. They can never remove Myun from the high ground. They're not stopping the value he's getting from Ana. And then Spear just drops what is essentially a YOLO shatter.
I mean, the biggest problem that they have is that their engage, when they had all three support ults up as well as Grav, was just sloppy. They end up having to use like a support ult just merely to live early on in the process. And as a result, you know, they give O2 Blast enough time to stay alive in the fight to get a nano up, and you know,
they had one fight. They had really one fight there.
Yeah.
That there was actually a fight. The rest of the time was just them walking in or being staggered.
I mean, you know, I want to complain that Soldier's dancing is really bad, but he still has more coordination than me. I don't know what that means.
He's got the moves.
Yeah.
He's got the moves.
I think that's actually better. I mean, you can't use these skins, of course, in official competitions, but you know, if you have Barbecue 76 up there, you know, Dad Grilling 76, whatever you want to call that skin, I think it really complements Dance pretty well.
O2 now going to be in the offense. See, they're going to be scoping out. Mondu probably just dropping the Sonic Arrow. Well, actually, no, staying on it, or they're going to be running the solo heals in. I imagine Mondu going back to swap. Yeah, there's the Lucio swap. And O2, okay, I was about to say they're about to run the quad tank, potentially, with the Hog, with Krong on the Hog, but instead they're swapping onto the 3-3 here with Kaiser on the Rhine again, and they're just going to focus cart presence here, because they know that, I mean, they also have Mion on the Xin, because they know everything about this fight is going to be based off, if they can just pressure cart hard enough and get one good fight, they win.
Yeah, and I mean, although that same logic can be said, you know, why you would maybe want to try a Sombra here as well, but that hasn't really been O2 Blast style, all in all.
No, definitely not.
But also, I mean, again, it's one fight. There's multiple different ways to achieve that. And I'm surprised they're taking as long as they are right now to go for fancy rotations and otherwise.
I think this rotation makes a lot of sense for O2, because if you control the high ground and you're able to keep Mion up there, who's been doing so much, then you can out-poke. You make him a lot hard. I mean, you have to commit a Diva maybe to fight him, and all the while Krong is on point, pressuring.
They haven't outbuilt Heurix yet here, though, so far, is the interesting thing. Heurix has been doing quite well. Good disruption on the spear. They're going to get the early pick off. It was good displacement. They get 2 off it early. And this is likely over. This is going to be the series. O2 Blast just gets a little bit further. WGS, you got to touch a payload. You got to move on over.
I mean, who's even able to touch? You see the frags coming out. There it is. O2 Blast getting the cap. It's going to be the 3-1. The Eye of the Kaiser coming into play there at the very end of the series.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quick and brutal storm where it didn't last a whole lot of time, but while it was there, total devastation. And
also another benefit here of taking the high ground, as you see from Mondu, who he comes in, wall rides, gets the displacement boops, is able to move Spear into the majority of the rest of O2. And that's just sort of another value of holding high ground. High ground is almost always a very strong tool to hold. So when we look at the reason for those rotations, I think that's why O2 Blast choose to make that rotation first, so they could just have their supports controlling that high ground.
Yeah, I mean, it came at a potential risk, especially because they're actually getting outbuilt on Transcendence, but you get the good displacement boop as Lucio, and you know what? That is going to be enough to decide the game there, where all they needed was one fight. They banked on a higher quality fight. They got it. And O2 Blast able to avoid in the series potentially going down the last place. WGS, of course, struggling, but you know, can you really blame them with the players they lost, including players on the opposite team? One in particular that was truly the MVP.
Well. Yeah, doing very well. He looked very, very strong, especially on the Ana. And I think that if you're O2 Blast, you can breathe a sigh of relief, at least, because you have not lost your position yet. You haven't lost your 6th seed. And WGS, their back is entirely up against the wall now, because they're about to be supplanted potentially by Geekstar. I think they have been supplanted.
Yeah, I think they have.
Yeah, because they're head-to-head. So
it's almost like they lost all their players. But regardless, of course, we have a few replays from the match here, where it feels like it's been a very, very long match at that. I think just because of the long delays with players getting back in. And WGS certainly showing promise here at points, but O2 Blast just too strong. And in the end, they took away WGS's arguably their best strength, which is good Sombra play.
I think when I look at the two teams here, specifically when I look at where O2 Blast is doing things right and WGS is having struggles, is the front line and the back line. I think Flores, especially with the Sombra plays, looks all right. I think Sven has been fine, even rough when he comes in. But really, it's Villainy versus Sphere, Darrow and Chorong versus Mondu Mion, that I see a huge difference in play.
Yeah, and I think overall it's a good omen for O2 Blast as they look to end the playoffs, where, I mean, what more can you say about Contenders than that? It is incredibly competitive. I would say that you look into the other regions, there's a pretty big gap between number 6 and say number 2. I'm not going to say number 1 because arguably KR actually has the biggest gap between number 1 and everyone else, but you look at the 2 through 6, and it's very close across the board. So just as long as you're at the number 6 spot, the way to getting back in, not too crazy.
But also, not all hope is lost for WGS by any means for losing this match. It just really, if anything, cements the fact that probably O2 will be fine moving forward.
Yeah, and I mean, also O2, we talked about the entire part, okay, WGS had to adapt to losing players. Well, O2's had to adapt to integrating with new players and figuring out how to play around their strengths. And certainly this looked to be a good omen of that here. Even Kaiser getting some play time towards the end where, again, I really hope we see more of him in game. Not that Villaini's been playing bad by any means or otherwise, but I just think about Kaiser's career path that you want to talk about someone that's had a solid unlucky at times. Certainly Kaiser kind of seems to fit the bill.
Definitely, it definitely fits the bill there. I mean, it's just you can't really anticipate such a rough Rocky, like, you know, go from Runaway to C9 to then end up on GGA, and then GGA versus Folds, and, you know, and he has these issues there. So, and then he's now has to go back to Korea and everything. But I think O2 Blast now has been good for Kaiser overall. The team has performed. Obviously, we'd all like to see him get more playtime, but he looks solid there in the last map. Villainy, I think, though, is a really solid main tank. So it's a struggle for the team to choose between because Villainy has looked very, very good. Well, that's our first series done and over with. When we come back, second series of the match, gonna be in straight at you.